Yeah, Dari, Big Blue Nation's made the trip down to Columbia, Missouri. It's Kentucky's just third ever trip to Columbia. They've won their previous two meetings here at Mizzou Arena under John Calipari. And tonight, the Wildcats try to keep pace with the Florida Gators, who just went final, knocking off South Carolina 81-66. Kentucky and Florida, the rematch in Lexington, is on Saturday. The Wildcats try to keep pace tonight. And with that, we welcome you courtside. Adam Amin, John Sunvold, Laura Rutledge will join us in a moment as well. The top four teams that the folks at home just saw in the SEC are in position not only to make the NCAA tournament, but for a double bye in the SEC tournament.
And down the stretch, they come, right? I mean, it's important to play well. It's important for seeding. It's important a chance to win the conference. Put yourself in position for a two-night bye in Nashville. Kentucky has to play well. Missouri try to protect their home court.
Kentucky's now won 4 in a row after a rough stretch where they lost 3 of their last 4. For more on Kentucky, we convinced her to step out of the studio. Laura Rutledge is with us tonight.
Let's be honest, I'm just here for the Boost's Burgers. But hey, Adam, Malik Monk put it this way. He said, we're Kentucky basketball. We get everybody's best. He said, I don't buy that when everybody says that SEC basketball isn't as good as other conferences, because he said, we're getting the toughest of everybody that we play. Now, Malik said they feel like they'll get that same thing from Missouri tonight, guys, and they said they can't rely on getting a big lead and not putting other teams away. They'll expect to do that this evening if they're able to get a lead, Adam.
That good point, Laura. And think of Missouri team. They've won 2 of their last 3 in this building. The place is packed. Excitement, a lot of Big Blue in the town also.
Wenyen Gabriel gets the first attempt at the rim, out of bounds, and it will go to the Tigers. John Calipari turned 58 a couple of weeks ago. This team on the road, the last 6 games going on the road, they've gone 4-2. They had the loss at Tennessee by 2. They had the loss at Florida by 22. And the 4 wins have come in very tight games, including their latest on the road in Athens on Saturday.
Adam, you get into conference play, and this is a team that scores nearly 90 a game in Kentucky. They've been slowed down a bit on the road. Teams have challenged them, made it more of a half-court game. Good start for the Tigers.
Russell Woods gets Missouri on the board first. Monk threw it away. Here comes K.J. Walton for a 4-0 lead.
Kentucky's a team that pushes. They average shooting a quick shot before 14 seconds.
One of the fastest offenses and highest scoring offenses in the country is on the board on a De'Aaron Fox rare 3-point make.
And Kim Anderson said if we can contain the first push to make them play some half-court sets. John Calipari likes the pace they can play.
Missouri's 2 SEC wins have come in the last 5 games, and as John mentioned, they've come in their last 3 home games over Arkansas and Vanderbilt after an 0-9 start in SEC play. Terrence Phillips rattles home a 3.
And where has Missouri struggled this season? They are last in field goal percentage off to the start the first 3 makes. Last in three-point field goal percentage. Last in field goal percentage. That's been the struggle. If they can make shots, they've won their games. Good ball movement here and a confidence of Terrence Phillips, who has been pretty good in SEC play, nearly 12 points a ball game and shooting it quite well.
He's had some tough shooting nights in the second half of conference, but he's coming off a really good performance. 18 points on 4 of 6 from 3 at Tennessee. Monk, Fox, Briscoe, and a traveling violation. Gabriel and Adebayo make up the front court for Kentucky. That's who Kim Anderson has to contain tonight. 300 career wins now as an NCAA head coach. Most of those coming at the Division II level, where he won a national title a few years ago.
Let's go back, and again, their field goal percentage. They are 40% from the field. That doesn't win you ball game. But against Arkansas in this building, 51%. Against Vandy, 46%.
That's right.
It changed. You up your average a little bit, you got a chance to win games. They've been in every ball game except the blowout at Florida, and Florida's done that to about everybody.
Missouri has started 3 of 3 from the floor, hosting Kentucky for just the 3rd time. Phillips wants another one. There's the first Mizzou miss.
And how quickly this Kentucky team will be on a dead sprint. All 5 black jerseys back.
But Briscoe did not get picked up. Phillips on the rebound and the push from K.J. Walton and Woods and Purrier and Van Leer. The starting 5 for Missouri that is averaging 69 points per game. That is last in the SEC. Walton lost it, but grazed by the Wildcats, 14 on the shot clock.
Good hands by Monk, a good matchup. Walton's a kid that likes to put it on the floor. Might make a jump shot now and then, but wants to put it on the floor. Monk's got to just move his feet.
Mizzou coming off a 20-point loss on the road at Tennessee, but the prior game, they held Alabama to just 18 in the first half, ended up losing that game by just a couple of points. Courier working hard, but Bam Adebayo is there for the rejection. Ted Valentine says it will stay at this end of the floor with 3 on the shot clock.
A good help weak side from Adebayo as he comes now. Courier's got to be smart enough to know next time if the weak side's coming, is a teammate open, but good block by Bam.
You're going to have to hurry off this inbound. Wenyen Gabriel uses his length. Van Leer fires one off. It did graze the rim. And I believe Ted Valentine may have blown the whistle, so they'll just inbound it here 3 minutes in. There will be a shot clock violation. Gabriel immediately comes off, and there is Derek Willis, who has been very good the last couple of games off the bench.
Let's go opposite of what Missouri is on offense. Kentucky, it leads this league in scoring nearly 90 a game. They lead this league in field goal percentage at 48% of all games.
You saw that graphic at home. That was what John was talking about. Less than 15 seconds per possession. The fastest Calipari offense at Kentucky. They're top 8 in the country in speed. Top 2 among high major teams behind the high-powered UCLA offense.
And when they go, it is fun to watch. Monk with a tough shot. He can make lots of tough shots.
And look how fast he got to his spot. Yeah. It's not just running the floor. It's the legitimate speed in the half court that guys like Fox and Monk have.
And they attack with a lot of different players from a lot of different angles. They're all good off the bounce.
Walton stops and misses wide. And Willis will save it. Good effort there by the 6'9" senior.
Such a conscious effort for Missouri to get back. Courier probably could add an offensive rebound.
Monk got an open look, and the top 3-point shooter and makes in the SEC has his first tonight, and Kentucky has its first lead.
How about Monk's season as a freshman? Double figures in every game, 47 against North Carolina. Spectacular night in, night out. Some nights not as consistent shooting the basketball, but in big nights he's been special.
Russell Woods with an illegal screen. It'll be Kentucky ball with its first lead of the night on the other side.
This is what Kentucky will do. They'll space you and make you chase. Wildcats with a lead.
SEC Network Basketball is brought to you by Regions Bank, proud to be the official bank of the SEC. Top 10 draft picks over the last 3 years under John Calipari. Certainly some of the names that have blossomed at the professional level, considerably in the NBA. Guys like Karl Anthony Towns and the like. Chad Ford on his latest big board that came out at the beginning of this month has 4 guys projected to be drafted out of this Kentucky Wildcat team, including Malik Monk, the top-rated prospect for these Cats.
That'd be interesting to see when you talk about Gabriel, if he'll go out or come back, make himself better for next season.
How quickly does De'Aaron Fox get to the rim? He and Malik Monk each have 5.
How about a 2-2-1, three-quarter court pressure, and Monk dribbled right through it and laid it in.
Now I was talking with Kim Anderson earlier today, talking about the reloading process that John Calipari goes through. And a couple of years ago when Kim won a Division II championship, he had a very similar situation. He had 10 brand new guys on that roster, and he's dealing with that now with this very young Missouri team that's back within 1.
And he's amazed at how Coach Cal can do it year in, year out with new faces. Not only the level of talent, but how he can do it consistently.
Some rough years. Obviously, some of the residual effects of the end of the Frank Haith era put Kim Anderson and this Missouri program into a bit of a tough spot. The wins haven't been there regardless, but we wonder what the future of this program is. Whether it's Kim Anderson going forward or not, a lot of young guys on this Missouri team that have some talent, as Willis hits it too.
Young guys, you have to build with more recruits. Kim Anderson would tell you they've missed on some that didn't show, and they've missed on some that did show that have not produced like they thought.
Jordan Barnett is in the game, as is Reed Nico.
A great matchup with Briscoe on Barnett.
That's right.
Barnett is an all-league type player at certain times of a game. Not consistent yet, but has had a few games at over 20 points.
We can check in with Laura.
Well, Adam, Coach Cal's message to that Kentucky huddle was that he wants him to push up on the defender and get over on ball screens. He said first couple times De'Aaron Fox was under. He wants him to do a better job of that. That's been something they've really emphasized. Also, wants Isaiah Briscoe to drive it and really get everyone else involved. And he said, hey, if you have an opportunity to shoot, go ahead and take it. He keeps preaching that confidence and energy, especially when it comes to taking shots, guys.
And Laura, what John Calipari talked to us about earlier today was very much along those lines. When they had trouble in the loss against Tennessee, the loss against Florida, they were taking a lot of bad shots early in the shot clock as Barnett misses, and that led to them having to go down and defend a whole lot of possessions at the other end of the floor for long periods. Barnett, the block, Barnett, the dunk.
Wow. Athletic, strong.
Ends up committing the foul on the leaning Fox.
So let's
send him to the left.
We've talked about Barnett. The ability, the coaches have really begged him to come out of the shell enough to do these things. He's explosive. He can shoot it. He's talented. We've seen it in stretches, but not consistently enough. And Adam, going back to teams that Calipari said, you know, we would shoot it quickly, and there are good teams in the SEC that would make us guard. You talked to Kim Anderson, and you said, you know what? Kim says, we're not good enough in a half-court offense. We don't shoot it well enough to make Kentucky play so much defense. We might want to push it, try to find some early quick looks to see if we can get some easier shots.
Fox splits a pair. Woods is there for the rebound. And I think you made a very good point, John, because as Kentucky applies some pressure, Missouri needs to have a very efficient night the way they did in their wins against Arkansas, against Vanderbilt, so that they don't have to run with Kentucky. You can have an efficient 30 seconds of offense to get points, and then you don't have to work as hard on defense. That was pretty as Barnett finds Woods.
Barnett's got a great feel. He's got a great understanding of the game.
So the first 6.5 minutes have been played in a 7-point window. Tied at 13.
And man-to-man defensively by this Mizzou game so far. Every possession except the 2-2-1 zone.
Gabriel missed it. Here comes Missouri looking to retake the lead. Briscoe, who is often on the best opposition player, is off the floor right now as Barnett travels. So we'll see who Barnett ends up getting on him.
And Briscoe comes back. One of my favorite players just because of the way he defends, the way he plays the game. Briscoe's one of those guys that tough, physical, demands a presence when he has the ball, even though he's not a great outside shooter. He's a guy that get it to the paint as well as anybody.
Isaac Humphries setting the screen off the bench for Briscoe. Gabriel with a turnover. Women's hoops will take over the SEC Network Thursday night. And remember, the SEC tournament for the women starts next Wednesday in Greenville, South Carolina. South Carolina right now would be a 2 seed. Texas A&M would be a 4 seed. So that's a big seeding game. And don't forget that Tennessee's sitting in the 6 seed right now as well. As Phillips gets tagged with a push-off, and he's kind of staring down Teddy Valentine, very displeased with that call. Remember, Phillips picked up a technical against Tennessee the other day.
Well, and these are the fouls that Phillips at times picks up that frustrates the coaching staff at Missouri. As a point guard, he gets in a lot of foul trouble, a lot of different ways in different ball games. He's got to stay on the floor.
Willis had it knocked away by Puryear and recovered. Briscoe serving. Willis had it slapped loose and grabbed by Fox. Briscoe, in a very out-of-sorts possession, turns it into 2.
6'3", 210, 215. A super strong lower body Briscoe had.
Hawkins will pick up a foul. Tony Green, Ted Valentine, Michael Roberts are officiating crew tonight.
Adam, Coach Cal is in a quick rotation of some guys on the side. He's looking for consistency. Willis, Gabriel, which one is going to stay on the court? Each one makes a mistake, he makes a quick change.
We've seen each of them look a little bit rocky to start this night. Jordan Geist is in as well for Missouri. Here is Barnett. Knocks down the long two.
A quick switch defensively, but they didn't get to Barnett quickly enough. He's off to a good start. That's usually a good sign for Missouri.
Count the basket for Briscoe and a foul.
Too good with the ball, too good off the dribble, too strong when he attacks. He goes left, he goes right. If you're not giving him one direction to go, he's going to just cross you up. Strong, physical, takes the contact. Terrific play.
Malik Monk will check back in for Fox. Isaiah Briscoe at the line, the sophomore. Has made a big jump. A guy who didn't always see eye to eye with John Calipari last year. And as he misses the free throw, it'll go the other way.
I thought the neat thing a year ago was Briscoe did what maybe the other guys wouldn't do on that squad. He guarded the toughest player on the opponents. He was one of those freshmen that didn't get to go early or didn't decide to go early. Not sure he's an NBA player or not. Probably be able to stick on a roster.
Out of bounds to Kentucky. A 2-point lead for Kentucky, but the Tigers are at the very least getting some looks at the rim to stay close in the first portions of this contest. Can they run with Kentucky? Can they defend Kentucky? They're within 2, 8+ in Como.
Kentucky with a 2-point lead, and the question was, could Missouri stay and play with Big Blue Nation? And they'd have to do it defensively and a high percentage. They've been active. They've been shooting the ball well at 54%. Defensively moving their feet, getting their hands on some steals, and easy finishes on the other end. So far, a good start for Mizzou. Kentucky, though, still with a lead.
They have 10 of their 15 points thus far in the paint. A lot of that has to do with getting good looks, whether in transition or right at the rim. So this is the start that I'm sure Kim Anderson would have hoped for. He needed an efficient, if not hot, start to stay with Kentucky. So far, so good for Missouri.
And the amazing part, we've talked about Missouri, they're still behind by 2 points.
That's right. That's how good Kentucky is.
Kentucky's shooting 7 for 11 from the field. They do have a couple turnovers that Cal wasn't happy about.
When you have this large of a disparity in talent, in wins, etc., you have to have a near-perfect night to knock off a team like Kentucky. So far, a very solid start for Missouri. They have played twice here at home against Kentucky the last few years. A pretty good game in 2014 when Kentucky actually came in with the exact same ranking. And then a couple of years ago, Kentucky was #1 when the Wildcats came in, got off to a very good start in that game. Adam Amin, John Sunville, Laura Rutledge is with us as well. Laura?
Yeah, Kim Anderson in that huddle, Adam, telling this Missouri team he likes the energy and the aggression so far, likes that they've gotten to the rim. Also told him, guys, we've got to play smart if we're going to continue to have a chance.
4th turnover by Kentucky. 3 of them have been when they've shuffled their feet. Missouri has stayed solidly man-to-man defensively. Kentucky a little off just a bit, Adam, with their passes. They've had guys cut, and the ball's been behind them, so they can't finish plays.
Frankie Hughes, a freshman, is on. Here he is for 3. A little long. That's a really good box out by Wenyen Gabriel to get Barnett out of the lane. Hawkins leaning in. And a blocking foul called late by Teddy Valentine. As Woods was trying to step in, and Russell Woods has picked up his 2nd foul at the 11-16 mark.
We often talk about the freshmen of Kentucky because they get the headlines. But on the great teams that they've had, it's the senior leadership at times, like a Hawkins that comes off the bench, right? A guy that can stabilize things. Or a sophomore like Briscoe when things are going tough that can run the show.
It is Hawkins playing in his 111th game, Laura. One of the veterans that has stepped up as of late for UK.
Yeah, Hawkins has been big, Michael Mulder as well as Derek Willis. And guys, these three players say that they relish every moment that they get to wear the Kentucky jersey because they're guys that have really put in some time. Derek Willis telling me, look, we've seen it all here. We've been through those stretches where we might lose a few games and everyone thinks the sky is falling down. We know how to bounce back from some of those struggles, and they've been integral for this Kentucky team, especially with these youthful guys this year.
Yeah, Willis, one of those guys that's so valuable to this team when they're playing well. He had 18 against Kansas, 16 in a win against Tennessee.
Good look for Hughes, can't connect. Kentucky leads by 3. That's been their largest lead of this opening stretch. Adebayo guarded by Puryear.
And a tough matchup for this Missouri team that is not very big physical. So Adebayo, they ought to see if they can get him some more touches in the paint.
Another turnover here. This time it was a forced turnover by the Missouri defense. Wenyen Gabriel has had a rocky start to this game.
Missouri's been able to shut down driving lanes off the dribble.
That was very
Interesting. That
close.
looked like it would could have gone the other way.
I thought it could have been Wildcat basketball there.
Got to stay close to Barnett because he's one of those guys that has a little lean back and a quick release.
Now, it was Monk that time guarding him, and as soon as the shot went up, Monk sprinted down the floor to get to the offensive end. Barnett was right in the grill to knock that away from Michael Mulder, the senior from Ontario.
Yeah, I can't tell if the ball is wet or what, because there's been a lot of guys losing the handle as they go up.
And Fox, I think, might have been thinking the same thing. He was kind of wiping the ball down, not with his jersey, but with his hands trying to find a dry spot.
Wow, look how physically strong and tough Briscoe is.
That was a bully drive by a 6'3" guard.
It's a playground drive, right? I mean, it's where there's no officials. You just go into the hole. You better stop. Try to get him out of the way.
Fox's first foul of the night. Friday Night Heights continues on the SEC Network. Great doubleheader, 7 Eastern. You'll see Missouri take on Florida, presented by Belk. Laura will be there for the LSU-Auburn top 15 matchup as well. All top 15 crews on Friday for Friday Night Heights on the SEC Network. Or was out in Utah to see a top 5 Pac-12.
Some of our camera crew tonight had the Friday Night Heights shirts on.
Absolutely. Mizzou.
Matchup zone. Matchup zone.
Just thinking the same thing.
Second possession, they've done it.
How about that? I was just thinking, like, you see the zone, say, all right, shoot us out of the zone because they're 1 for 7 from 3, and then Phillips goes right back and knocks it down.
And Phillips has been pretty consistent on his shooting the 3. Nice move by Bam.
Yeah, very good footwork that time. Cron wanted to travel, but that was cleanly done by Big Bam.
Phillips more of a spot-up shooter, even though point guard off the dribble. Doesn't shoot many off the dribble, especially long range.
Tough drive by Puryear. Cannot get the roll. And snared by Briscoe. Ran into Phillips. And it will be a traveling violation.
I think a good call.
I think so too. It was right in front of us, and it looked like he lost the footing and then hit Phillips.
Phillips had timed he was going to go to the right. He had played it right, and Briscoe lost control, shuffled his feet.
I think it's the right call.
Yep. In that position as a defender, you're guessing left or right. He guessed the right direction.
And John Calipari, who is sitting down, by the way, right behind Teddy Valentine, just got a warning from a referee popularly known as TV Teddy. He had some controversial, I guess, calls this weekend in Big Ten play. I believe a Minnesota-Michigan game where some fans were not pleased with the call. Monk dribbled it off of his foot. He's able to recover and get it across midcourt.
And the fans wanted traveling on Monk as he made that pass.
Here's Barnett.
Sloppy game so far.
And Barnett leans in for his third field goal off the bench.
How good, though, is this kid when he's playing like this?
I think Geist was able to get a touch on it, so it stays with Kentucky.
Off the bounce, he can take it, he can shoot it. They want him to kind of be an alpha male once in a while on the court, Jordan Barnett.
And the fans here at Mizzou Arena haven't had a ton to cheer about. They're on their feet right now in a 2-point game. Adebayo gets stripped. Walton inside, and a foul is called. Tony Green will put the foul on Mulder.
Adam Laura mentioned it at the start. Kentucky gets everybody's best shot. Missouri is aggressive on defense. They're attacking on offense. The crowd is in it. Not surprising to this Kentucky team. This is normal everywhere they go.
That's exactly what John Calipari told us today. Walton misses the first of two. Now, we talked about this. Kentucky is 4-2 in their last 6 road games. Obviously, it's a great record. You want to be above 500 when you go on the road. But for a Kentucky team that gets everybody's best shot, sure enough, they've had some very tight wins, plus the loss at Tennessee, plus the absolute demolishing by the Florida Gators last month. Earlier this month. That's an empty possession that Missouri cannot afford. And Missouri gets a break with Fox missing a point-blank shot. 8 to play first half.
Missouri running almost at every rebound and turnover. They're just not as quick as Kentucky, and if they don't have it, they set something up.
Good defense by Bam Adebayo that time against Puryear, who still has not scored in this game. Missouri's second leading scorer, averaging 11.5.
Fox is so good at seeing the floor. Adam keeps his head up, eyes up. He surveys everything. He can take people off the dribble, but he's looking for teammates.
Missouri foul takes us to the under 8 media timeout. Hey, people were thinking, what's it going to look like 12 plus minutes in? I don't know if they would have thought this was going to be the score. Away from South Carolina to win its 9th consecutive game, and they moved to 13-2 at the top of the SEC. Wildcats are trying to keep pace tonight with a win on the road. Both of those teams, plus South Carolina, plus Arkansas, would be in, according to Joey Brackets, for the NCAA tournament. Tennessee, part of the first 4 out. Arkansas got a big win against the Gamecocks.
I had Arkansas Saturday against Ole Miss, maybe the best they've played, along with that South Carolina win. What a great week they had.
You see Isaiah Briscoe getting work done. Chris Simmons is the lead trainer for Kentucky, and making sure they're all good to go with that left foot of Isaiah Briscoe. This game will be on ESPN Radio as well. If you're sitting around in your car and looking for something to listen to, I'll be on the call with Bob Valvano. Top 15 matchup for first place in the SEC. Absolute shredding by the Gators the first time around in Gainesville.
And you think of this Florida team without John Egbunu, that changes them because of their depth.
We talked about the rebounding.
Yeah. And again, that game when Kentucky went to Florida was a week and a half span, 2-week span when Florida was annihilating everybody. Over 30 points against LSU, 30 against Oklahoma, 39 against Missouri, and then 22 against Kentucky. It's a high-powered squad.
Kevin Puryear, not a great three-point shooter, but looked like the shot of a man who wants to get on the board now. He has not scored just yet.
Monk has been quiet. He's only taken 3 shots, but he's made 2 of those.
Fox has 2 field goals as well. Good tip by Adebayo. And here comes Missouri as we check in with Laura.
Yeah, Coach Cal telling Bam Adebayo in that last huddle, he wants to keep posting and wants him to get great position. He said he doesn't really want him to dribble, just catch it, turn it, and shoot. And he said, hey, everyone's talking about this slippery ball, slippery basketball. He's like, hey, it's not affecting Missouri, so you guys need to focus in and stop using that as an excuse.
And again, I thought it was interesting because as soon as you mentioned it, John, De'Aaron Fox was right in front of us and just kind of eyeballing it and kind of running his hands around that leather, trying to see if there was an issue with it. But
and again, sometimes it's just sweat. It's something on the ball.
Sure.
I just thought a couple of Kentucky players had lost the handle of it kind of quickly.
Yeah, we saw Wenyon Gabriel a couple times. Willis had some issues holding onto the basketball as well. Neither team shooting the free throws well at all. That's the first make on 4 tries for Missouri. Barnett has 7. Missouri's within 1 with 7 to go.
And let's go back to what Cal said that Laura heard. Adebayo is 6'10", 260.
Yep.
Missouri is not big inside. Puryear at 6'7". Now they do have Nico in at 6'10", but he's not a matchup for what Adebayo can do inside.
Long baseline all the way to the rim. Nobody picked him up on that straight line drive from the corner.
Good move by Monk. Nico got stuck holding on to Adebayo, didn't get help defense.
So Walton has Fox on him right now, and it's Monk kind of keeping an eye on Barnett in that matchup zone.
Again, you've got to get to Barnett because he's a long-range shooter, and his size at 6'8", he can go over the top.
Phillips wants it and knocks down his third three of this first half.
Good challenge by Mulder, but the good spot-up shot by Phillips.
Here is Bam. It's Monk. Long shot and run down by Mulder to Fox. And here in Fox, unable to connect. Here comes Missouri shooting for the lead.
And Fox is holding his left shoulder. Came back, kind of grabbed his shoulder as though he either got hit or maybe got a little stinger.
Phillips bouncing underneath. Thrown down by Nico for the lead. Adebayo off target.
Adam, no white jerseys have crashed the glass much. It's been one and done. Missouri rebounding it well. Another good pass.
Nico underneath to Puryear. Missed it point blank, and he's still scoreless. That is a frustrating miss for Missouri.
Roof might have blown off the top. Puryear lays that in.
Willis for the lead. Boy, look at Phillips, one of the smaller players on the floor, going way up to the summit to keep that alive for a Missouri defensive rebound.
A good pace to this game. We've got some tired bodies out there. Guys grabbing their shorts, bending over. Now Missouri walks it up the court.
And Barnett with the blow-by right past Mulder for a 4-point lead. John Calipari, timeout. SEC Network Basketball is brought to you by Gatorade, the proven sports fuel. Delivering the best possible shot they can in the first half, Terrence Phillips with 3 threes.
He has been a consistent shooter for Kim Anderson when he's on the floor. And if he's not in foul trouble and he's on the floor, he's valuable at catching and releasing. 9 points, 3 rebounds, good, solid first half.
So a 4-point deficit. Malik Monk, Derek Willis, Isaac Humphries, Isaiah Briscoe, and De'Aaron Fox on the floor. And an offensive foul called against Isaiah Briscoe, his first, and another Kentucky turnover here. After a hot start, Kentucky has cooled off shooting, and now they have 8 turnovers in this game as well.
Missed their last 5 3-point attempts. Now they've got to settle it down defensively. Missouri able to run whatever they want on the offensive end, and the good looks.
Trying to go backdoor there with KJ Walton.
Good defense by Monk.
Puryear in and out, and the frustrations continue for him. He's 0 of 6 from the floor. Here is Fox. Good look. Humphries came in, but Barnett squeezes as we check in with Laura Rutledge.
Well, John mentioned the pace of play in this game so far, guys, and Kim Anderson telling his players, keep moving, catch and go, keep this pace up, play as fast as possible because it is affecting Kentucky as far as Missouri is concerned.
You know, the interesting part, when Kentucky's on the offensive end, they only usually have one guy going to the offensive rebound.
Yeah.
It's made it easier for this Missouri team defensively.
Bad look for Geist there. He'll try to chase it down for some retribution, but it'll be Kentucky ball with 3 to play here in the first. Phillips will check back in for Geist. As we showed you, coming off a really good shooting game against Tennessee and off to a good start tonight, 3 of 4 from 3-point range. Fox has 6, Monk has 7, Briscoe has 6. Humphries, point blank look. Briscoe couldn't snare it, then he did. And then a foul is called against Missouri, which will lead to free throws.
Well, when you need a loose ball, when you need a rebound, Isaiah Briscoe is the guy usually that gets it for him. The little bump of Phillips out. Phillips wanted to have a few words. Briscoe, it doesn't bother him.
It is the second Phillips foul, which will send Briscoe to the line for 1 and 1. So Geist will very quickly check back in for Phillips. The toughness from the New Jersey kid, Isaiah Briscoe. Very much on display early in this game, and frankly has been all season. In moments where they've needed that leadership from the guard position, he has certainly been one to lean on for John Calipari.
A better shooter this season than he was a year ago, but still not a great shooter. And you can tell with the free throw, the stroke is not just a natural good stroke. Last 8 ball games, 17 offensive rebounds. That's what he brings even at his guard position. Still wiping his hands, wiping the ball.
Splits a pair. Remember, we did see Briscoe getting that left ankle taped up a little bit. We'll see if that has any effect going down the floor or even further. He does have Barnett now. That's usually the assignment. The toughest assignment for Kentucky's defense belongs to Briscoe often. Shot clock at 7. Geist. Walton. Got to put something up. That's a shot clock violation and very poor awareness by Missouri's offense.
Late getting into things, and once Barnett gives it up, the others aren't looking to come off screens and make the shot or make the play. Again, I think, and the coaches would tell you, if Barnett gets it, if he can attempt to make a play, he will get double teamed or at least get a shot off.
There's Adebayo bullying his way inside and drawing a foul against Reed Nico.
Strong, powerful, good footwork. Watch as he comes back to that right shoulder and the drop step and then the gathering of his body. Nico's got to be able to keep his chest right there in front, slide the feet. If you don't, it's going to be contact, going to be a foul.
Tony Green is over at the scorer's table. It should be 2 shots, regardless of whether it's in the act of shooting or not, because it's 10 fouls against Missouri. Got a veteran officiating crew, and well, fun to deal with, Tony and Ted and Michael. 62% free throw shooter is the freshman from North Carolina. Born to Nigerian parents. 3 double-doubles in his freshman campaign, including one in that memorable game against UCLA, Bruins victory on the road at Rupp.
Solid season. Unlike the last few years, Adebayo doesn't have a lot of big guys around him. Kentucky's always been long and lean and big. Their length has bothered a lot of people this season. They're not as much that way.
Courier looking for his first point tonight.
Stayed with it. I wasn't sure he was going to take the shot.
Yep. Gabriel for 3. Off the Briscoe feed to tie the game.
Looking for consistency.
Yes. He has scored a total of 5 points over his last 3 games entering action tonight. Geist with the dish and the long 3 attempt from Walton. And a foul is called, I believe, on Isaiah Briscoe. Indeed, that is number 2 on Isaiah.
He got on the backside of Barnett. It was a long shot that had skipped. Briscoe didn't like the call, didn't think there was contact.
Now Mulder will check back in for Briscoe.
Long rebound, and again, Briscoe did not put his body in front of Barnett.
Fox, tough maneuvering inside. Nico and Geist both sandwiched him on defense. And Geist playing some bigger minutes at the end of this first half with the foul trouble for Terrence Phillips.
And Geist can make spot-up shots. Not a great shooter. Good defense.
That's really good defense by Mulder. who has been a solid contributor. He stayed right with the offensive player to make that handoff tough.
Active hands, stay between your man and the ball. Just be active about it. Don't make the play easy. Don't let the handoff be easy. Good play. Mulder knocks it out.
Cullen Van Leer comes back in for K.J. Walton with 60 seconds to play in the first half. Again, people tuning in and out and kind of thinking, well, Kentucky's on the road. They're playing Missouri, who's got 2 SEC wins all year. How bad can it be? 19 minutes in. Bam Adebayo working on the inside will draw the bump. So a couple of more shots coming. With that being said, any Missouri fan, and I'm sure Kim Anderson would fall in line as well, would take 30-30 this late in the first half.
Emphasis on pounding it inside, and the key usually is the guy on the outside. This time Monk, when he caught it, it was a quick release and a quick pass to Adebayo that doesn't let the defense get set.
Nico has now picked up 3. So he's going to come out, and Frankie Hughes will come in, and the lineup gets a little smaller for Missouri for the final stretch.
Another guy capable of making a long-distance shot is Hughes. Not very consistent in his freshman year shooting, though.
Adebayo hits, and Kim Anderson has the use it or lose it first half timeout here. Women's Hoops takes over the SEC Network Thursday night. Don't forget the tournament starts next Wednesday for the ladies. How about this floor was the site of a pretty big upset on Sunday. Sophie Cunningham, that stud for Mizzou, helping to knock off South Carolina on Sunday. They'll be taking on Texas A&M. Florida, Tennessee will open up our doubleheader Thursday.
Sophie Cunningham named National Player of the Week.
That's right.
Her game-winning shot.
Yep.
Local product here out of Rockbridge High School.
Again, Kentucky on the road tonight. They'll be back at home Saturday to take on Florida, which beat South Carolina earlier this evening. That'll be the rematch of that 22-point drubbing. Carolina has now struggled, so they've fallen squarely back into third place.
Yeah, how you start playing at this time of the season. And South Carolina's, what's that? They've lost 4 out of their last
5 and 3 in a row.
Yeah. Arkansas, we talked about last week, winning at South Carolina and an impressive win at home against Ole Miss. How do you play this time of year? Coaches want to get their teams ready.
Like Geist working hard to try to beat the double team, and does. Barnett will find Hughes, and he'll dribble it back out.
Shot clock at 12.
Time for the Tigers to get a decent look.
And that's where you don't want Barnett to give it up. He turns, faces, he takes the shot.
And now somebody else has to force a tough one up. Geist, just an awful possession after Barnett gave it up.
But let's think of this. Barnett came off. He had an opening to shoot it. Still running offense. Vision should always be towards the rim. If your vision and eyes are on the rim, you can see the rest of the floor.
Now, some of that moisture we've been talking about, Ted Valentine does have to wipe up the ball at the end of this half. And is it just me, John, or is it a little warmer in this arena than other arenas?
Let's think of this, Adam, and you were visiting, which is happy to have you here. 75 degrees today in Columbia, Missouri, February. A little bit odd, a little bit different.
I mean, we'll take it outside. A little bit tougher for these guys inside. How about this first half in Columbia, Missouri? The clock at 5 for number 5. Monk, tough corner shot, short. Into the hands of Geist, and the fans in Como will absolutely take this. A 1-point Kentucky lead through the first 20 minutes on the road in just their 3rd ever visit to Mizzou Arena. 9-0 all-time is Kentucky against Missouri. John Calipari's team with just a 1-point lead. He is with Laura Rutledge.
Thanks, Coach. You expected Missouri to play with house money. How would you describe this first half?
They played well. I mean, they're playing well, and we're missing layups and dunks and free throws. I can't believe we're up 1, but we'll see what we do in the second half.
How would you describe this student section here? All right, Adam.
Frustrations clearly pouring out of John Calipari. The 13th team in terms of the standings in the SEC is down just by 1 to Kentucky. We head to the halftime studio. Dari, Tony, Pat, did you guys expect this at all? Well, some interesting halftime festivities. Our good buddy here, John Sunvold, honored as an SEC legend, as a representative of Missouri. Red Panda, I don't care what you say, best halftime act in basketball. The Red Panda bringing this crowd to its feet and jaws to the floor. And then somebody made a $5,000 shot. So some weird things are happening in Columbia, Missouri right now. You know what else is weird? The score. I don't think a lot of people would have expected 31-30 Kentucky, the number 2 team as it stands right now in the SEC, leading what is currently the number 13 team in this league that has not beaten a ranked team since 2013. So all of that combined, you're looking at a very interesting first half where Missouri in many facets outplayed Kentucky.
Well, now can Missouri maintain what we know is going to happen with Kentucky's going to step it up a notch,
That's right?
That's what they do. That's what they're supposed to do. Can Missouri have the same energy defensively and get back and make the stops and get the rebounds? I mean, think of this. Kentucky had 2 offensive rebounds. I mean, it's amazing what has happened in this first half. Now, again, as Cal said, we still have a 1-point lead. He was amazed. Missouri's got to be able to weather the storm. We'll see if they can do it.
We get a look at the first half stats, and we get a chance to check in with Laura Rutledge.
Adam, talking to Kim Anderson, he said, look, we're thrilled with the way that first half went, but he said we cannot let up. This is an incredibly talented Kentucky team. He said he's really happy with the way this team has played defensively. He likes the rebounds. He said offensively, look, we've got to make some free throws. If we made more free throws, we would be in a much better position coming into the second half, guys.
Laura, excellent point. A lot of good hustle in advantage for the Tigers, but remember when they lost that very close game to Alabama a couple of contests ago, they missed 7 free throws in that game too.
In their home building. In the first half, they were 1 of 5 from the foul line. Must do better.
Here is Puryear, who had a very rocky first half shooting the basketball, struggling to try to keep that ball alive, and cleared by Wenyen Gabriel. Same 5 that started the game for both teams are out there to start the second half.
Man-to-man defensively, must stay in front of Fox. He'll be quick, and we'll see if Monk can get on track.
Here is Adebayo working against Woods, who was in early foul trouble in the first half, and he quickly picks up foul number 3 of his night.
Adebayo's got to be a little bit careful at him in that his feet shuffle a little bit when he catches. Instead of leaving one pivot foot down, he has a tendency to move both feet to lower his position.
Bam at the stripe. And 3 of 5 in the first half, right around his season average. 6 points, a couple of blocks, and 5 boards for Bam Adebayo.
Well, Bam averages 28 minutes a ball game, quite a bit for a big guy. He played 17 minutes in that first half.
Phillips had foul trouble late in the first half. He did knock down 3 threes. The only 3 makes from distance for Missouri in the first. He's got Monk trying to stay with him on defense. Here is Walton. Adebayo able to muscle his way to another rebound. And Phillips ends up committing his 3rd foul at the 18:53 mark.
2 possessions, Missouri so shot on the offensive end. And Kentucky with a rebound, they push and they put pressure on you defensively.
Phillips has to go back to the bench.
And Missouri not as good when Phillips is out. They don't run their offense as well. They don't have enough offensive weapons.
Geist has to come in for him.
Matchup 2-3 zone from underneath out of bounds. Watch for Briscoe in the middle.
Yep.
Clever, and he's strong, very good around the rim.
That's a very smart play to get the ball to the middle of the floor and let Briscoe, a typically poised player who has had some turnover issues at times this year, go to work. This is a 5-point advantage to match Kentucky's largest of the night. Foul away from the basketball against Kentucky. Gabriel picks up his first of the night, and this was Phillips after he picked up his 3rd foul, seemingly calling at Kim Anderson saying, hey, let me stay on the floor. He is an emotional player and a very big personality that at times get a little over the top and let it affect him, but he is an emotional leader for this Missouri
team. And
team.
sometimes a coach might say to that point guard, okay, I'll trust you. The bad part, Phillips, he's just had foul trouble all season long.
Yeah. And that is foul number 4 on Reed Nico. Offensive foul in the paint.
So far, nothing on the first 3 possessions for Missouri. Had his head down, eyes aren't up, nothing. Easy call for the official.
And Gabriel, arguably the best player for Kentucky in terms of taking charges. That's his 9th this year to lead the team. Fox blocked by Nico. Briscoe is right in the thick of things as a very good rebounding guard. That time had it stripped, and Michael Roberts says that he was last to touch, was Briscoe. Well, Fox is limping off the floor, and Hawkins comes in for him. Aaron Fox grimacing a little bit, so we'll see if the training staff gets a look at him during this breather. Barnett is into the game off the bench. Phillips is in as well with those 3 fouls.
Phillips being guarded by Adebayo should really command the basketball.
Yeah, Adebayo's way out on the perimeter right now after the switch. Geist. Walton got it blocked by Wenyen Gabriel.
Active hands by Gabriel, quick to the ball.
And Bam goes right to the post against 2 smaller defenders in Phillips and Walton. And we'll go to the free throw line on the second KJ Walton foul.
And because of the mishaps offensively for Missouri, Kentucky running the floor, low post position, attacking and putting so much pressure on this Missouri defense.
Bam makes the first. He's made all 3 at the line. Can you imagine this is maybe what affected Fox? That began the stretch where he was limping on the floor. He is currently on the bench as Kentucky has taken its largest lead at 7.
Solid defense by Big Blue Nation in this second half, man-to-man straight up. Missouri has not had any open looks or early looks.
They have not scored in this half until now. KJ Walton going to the line with an and 1. Second on Gabriel.
Gabriel looked like he was there, but not quite. Kind of got his body sideways, and this is what KJ Walton does. Puts it on the floor, attacks, doesn't necessarily play above the rim. But a good answer on that possession.
Right.
Much needed bucket.
The poised veteran Hawkins will run the point, and Monk will fire. Walton comes flying in. Good job by Poirier to occupy Adebayo to allow Missouri to get that defensive rebound. Barnett, that one was way off. We were right behind it. Off target. Women's hoops will take over the SEC network on Thursday night. Again, closing in a week and a day away from the women's SEC tournament. Florida and Tennessee, and then South Carolina and Texas A&M in a big seeding game. Both games available on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app as well.
So think of South Carolina. They traveled to Connecticut, then back home, then to Missouri, long flight back home, now to A&M. A lot of mileage.
Really tough stretch for Dawn Staley's crew. Fox is back in the game now after a quick breather. Monk driving on Walton. The kick for Briscoe. In and out. Adebayo's right there. Forced it up as he was losing his footing. Off a rare Kentucky offensive rebound tonight. Phillips, deep one. Good box out by Bam. Phillips got in the passing lane.
You know, Phillips has an energy to him, Adam, tonight. He wanted to stay in the game. Kim Anderson got him back in the game. That was a deep, long jump shot, but from our angle, right on the mark, but just a little long.
Adebayo goes to the bench as Humphreys comes in for Kentucky. And Phillips was joking around, talking about some killer instinct earlier today. Wanted to bring that into the game tonight when we talk with him at shoot-around.
Tough matchup for Geist, but he took the bump.
Third Briscoe foul, and Geist hung right in there with a very good inside guard in Briscoe.
And Geist sold this well. Here's the bump. You're going to get the bump because Briscoe's going to bump you. And Geist took it and rode with it. Official gave him the call. Sometimes they won't give you that.
Right.
And then you give up a layup.
Briscoe is off. Here is Phillips, the kick. Purrier for three. Good looking shot. Walton was last to touch. It'll be Kentucky ball on the other side with a 4-point lead. 4+ minutes in to this second half. John Calipari looking for the right combination of guys to help Kentucky try to pull away on the road. Our SEC Now crew will wrap things up from a big Tuesday in the SEC. Mississippi State and Ole Miss are playing on ESPN2 right now. South Carolina fell to Florida earlier tonight. Auburn went on the road to get a win against LSU. They'll wrap all of it up on SEC Now when we're done from Columbia, Missouri. So far, Kentucky with a 4-point advantage, and they've done it without Malik Monk or De'Aaron Fox scoring in the second half. They combined for 13 points in the first half, the highest scoring freshman duo in the country. So how do these two guys get involved for John Calipari?
They've not been able to get out ahead of this Missouri defense. Missouri not crashing the offensive board. They're getting 5 guys back defensively. Monk's got to be a little more aggressive in a half-court sets, I think. He's not really looked for his shot.
I think that's a good point, John, because Kentucky, one of the fastest offenses, loves to run, can turn games into a track meet, and they get a lot of looks for these two in transition, whether it's at the rim or for three.
Nice pass.
Great feed by Fox to Humphries.
But this is what many teams in this conference have done to Kentucky on the road, right? Slow them down just a bit.
Sure.
Make them play a few half-court sets.
Geist working hard. Barnett was flaring towards the corner. It felt like if they could have found him, he might have had a look. Quick trigger from the corner for Hughes. The soft rim nearly helped him out. Purrier got wrapped up by Willis. It'll be a foul on the floor, I believe, against Derek Willis. And that will be the case. His first as we check in with Laura.
Well, Adam, in that last Kentucky huddle, Coach Cal talking to Isaiah Briscoe, he's trying to post him, but he said, don't back into him. You've got to face up, take him to the basket. And he said, look, guys, we were up 7. That's where we've got to pull away, but we let him back in with a 3-point play.
And Laura, Isaiah's coming right back into the game.
And Briscoe is a fabulous face-up player because he goes left and right easily. He can attack small guys. He can attack big guys. Finish around the rim.
He checks in for Malik Monk. There is Phillips. 3 threes in the first half, and Briscoe has the assignment on him right now.
And the matchup to watch is Willis on Barnett.
Yep.
Got to stay in front of him, get a hand in his face quickly.
I was going to say, maybe thinking about adding that length to make sure Barnett can't get an easier look. Geist off to Purrier in traffic. Who was last to touch? They will say it was Purrier, and it is Kentucky ball.
Purrier thought there was contact at Kim Anderson, but he's got to be able to finish the play after getting bumped. Got to have stronger hands. You got to be able to take the bump, finish it at the rim.
A frustrating night for Missouri's second leading scorer. 1 of 10 from the floor. Missouri is 1 of 9 in the second. Kentucky is 2 of 6. There is Briscoe. The kick to Humphries. Good rebound by Barnett. Phillips on the push, blowing past Fox and drawing a foul. The second on the freshman from Houston. That is the energy with which Phillips seems to play on most nights.
And when he attacks, he's really looking for contact as he's pushing. Fox not necessarily trying to get out of the way, but he was just almost an innocent bystander. And the speed of a point guard when they put it on top of your back. Phillips, all he wanted was contact, and once the officials saw that and the whistle blew, he's going to put it up to try to get 2 free throws.
Adebayo and Monk both come back into the game for Humphries and Hawkins. Phillips is the first player in this basketball game to reach double figures.
You're waiting a little bit now for Monk to get on a little bit of a run because that's what he does. Make 2, 3, 4 shots in a row off screens, off the down picks, coming off the jump shot.
And both he and Fox have that ability. As we saw on Saturday, Fox did it against Georgia late in the game.
Yep.
Lobbing for Bam. That is a great mid-air adjustment by Bam Adebayo. He wants to dunk it, but made a good adjustment to tip it. Geist was looking for Purrier on the roll. Instead, Barnett thought he was contacted by Willis.
And a great challenge by Willis to change Barnett's shot.
Yep. That's what we talked about with the length that he applies on a shooter like Barnett. Fox stripped by Purrier. 6-point game. Phillips all the way inside for two. Here comes Kentucky. Racing down the floor is Monk. Beautiful adjustment, but could not finish. Adebayo is there for the two. Worst field goal of the second half for Bam.
And again, Adam, we now have that pace. Both teams back and forth trying to put pressure on each other defensively.
And that is number 4 on Isaiah Briscoe. At the 13-minute mark, he picks up his 4th personal foul. And that is a factor at both ends of the floor for John Calipari.
And speaking of factors, we always know Kentucky wants to put the pressure on any defensive team. Missouri's doing the same thing to Kentucky. They're attacking. They're making them get back defensively, challenging them to move their feet, see if they'll take the charge.
We talked about it. Briscoe has had a solid night offensively, although a couple of turnovers. And he often has one of the tougher assignments, if not the toughest assignment, on defense. So at the 13-minute mark, that is a big cog sitting on the bench right now for Kentucky. Right at the rim, it's laid in by Frankie Hughes off the Phillips feed.
Solid screen by Geist. Lack of communication by this Wildcat team defensively. Should not happen. An easy layup for Missouri.
In and out for Monk. Hughes. Geist cut off. It's Barnett. Using the glass, touched every part of the rim. Offensive rebound for Woods. Would not go, and here comes Monk. Willis, big three. Around and out. Bam Adebayo is there to throw it down.
The speed of Monk separates the defense. You got two guys back that stopped him. But what it did was it had Missouri scrambling. They didn't get to Willis. They didn't block out Adebayo. An easy tip in.
His 4th double-double, his first since the UCLA game. It's the first SEC double-double for Bam Adebayo. Inside at 12 to play, and Phillips on the drive. Got it stuffed by Hawkins. Recovered it. 5 on the clock, and a foul called on Willis. Shots coming on the other side for Terrence Phillips, and Bam Adebayo has helped find some separation for Kentucky in this second half. He did it early in the season in non-conference play 3 times. His 10th rebound leading to his 4th field goal on 2 big points on that slam. And a couple of big putbacks for Bam Adebayo in this game tonight, and a couple of impressive plays.
A tough physical second half. And let's go back to the first half when John Calipari said, let's pound it inside and use your strength and your power. And he's the biggest man on the court. In the last possession, Missouri didn't find him to block him off.
You pointed this out to us. 2 offensive rebounds in the first half for Kentucky. They've already got 4 here in the second half, and Adebayo a big reason why, asserting himself with a big body down low.
Kentucky more aggressive, but Missouri not going away. Still has some answers.
Still only down by 6, and Phillips going to the line. This is 2 shots for him. He has led Missouri with 13 tonight. Now 14.
And when you look at Missouri's history this season and the record, 7-19, 2-12 in the league. Many games are close, and then they'll have a 5 or 6 possession when they just have a drought. They have stayed close to Kentucky. They've got to keep producing and see if they can make some stops. Kentucky pretty comfortable now on the offensive end.
And Geist is going to pick up a foul. believe as Monk was trying to find some space, Geist made some contact with him. It's the first on the sophomore from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Monk, Gabriel, Mulder, Humphreys, and Hawkins, the 5 out there. It is Monk, the biggest threat on the floor for Kentucky. And Barnett trying to get position on Humphreys was last to touch.
I'd say this, Adam, the biggest threat is Monk, and Missouri was late getting to him. You never want a shooter comfortable and knocking in a shot. He missed that one, but they can't give him space because we've seen this young man, once he makes one, he can go on a serious roll.
Adebayo in. There is Mulder for 3. Michael Mulder is a 40% three-point shooter. And he has given Kentucky a 7-point advantage, tying their largest lead of the night.
And over 80% of Mulder's shots come from the three-point line.
Woods to Geist. Good closeout by Hawkins. Geist takes a tough shot and knocks it down for his first points.
You had a hunch he wanted to shoot that thing, huh?
Yep. Now he played at Ranger College for former Kentucky head coach Billy Gillispie. Monk driving on Geist, and it's an offensive foul. That's the second foul on Malik Monk, so Geist sticking right with a very good offensive player.
He has taken contact and bumps. Monk trying to free himself just enough. You mentioned Geist played for Billy Gillispie. Obviously a tough coach. Gillispie described Geist as just a feisty competitor. Not overly talented, but he'll fight you for every possession.
Walton trying to drive on Adebayo, who picked him up on the switch. Geist, the fake and the 3. Left it short, and Bam with a rebound number 11 tonight.
And a strong rebound.
What a specimen Bam Adebayo is. Remember, this is his first year of college basketball. Geist knocking it free. Still 15 to shoot. And Puryear will check back in, and Barnett will get a breather. Bam Adebayo put on 25 pounds during his senior year of high school. Talk about a blossoming body. McDonald's All-American. Had a chance to watch him last year at the McDonald's game in Chicago, and there was no specimen more impressive for a high school senior than Bam Adebayo.
A preseason All-SEC first-team pick.
Monk was trying to get space and lost it. Kentucky turnover number 14 tonight. You get the feeling Phillips wants an opportunity here.
Yeah. Good matchup.
Yeah, Puryear took advantage of a smaller Hawkins and forced him into his 3rd foul.
And good decision by Phillips. He knew there was a switch. He just needed to get the ball back to get it to teammate Puryear.
And I think you and I both saw Phillips kind of itching to maybe shoot, and I thought he made a good decision to pass to the post here.
Most point guards will see a big guy on him and think, well, I'll just take him. Recognition by the point position. Saw a teammate down low.
So Kevin Puryear, who has had a difficult shooting night tonight. Team's leading scorer a year ago as a freshman. Continues to struggle. Well, the look on his face as he comes back down the floor, he's shaking his head. You can tell he's very upset. Fox inside. What a take by De'Aaron Fox.
It's the angles that Fox attacks your body. You can't stay in front of it. And when you try to put your chest, he crosses you up.
Adebayo with the block on Walton.
Shot clock did not change.
Nope, still moving to 16 for Phillips.
Solid, confident.
Adebayo moving inside on Puryear. Woods overcommitted, so that allowed Adebayo to drive to the rim.
Take a look at Fox and watch the angle he attacks. You can't keep your body in front of him defensively, and the weak side can't stay in front of him. Phillips, we talked about him. His explosiveness off the dribble, the pullback. He's been solid shooting the 3 in SEC play. His confidence is high tonight.
18 points in back-to-back games. Remember, he's had some tough shooting nights in the second half of SEC play, but tonight, just like he did against Tennessee, 4 of 6 from three-point range. And you see his body language, his mannerisms. He's the one that wants the crowd to get up. He's the one that wants the energy to flow through him.
He has had big games in his now only his second year in his sophomore season. A couple times over 20 this year, 12 times in double figures.
Adebayo really sharpening up at the free throw line here in the second half. Part of a double-double tonight. 17 points, 12 rebounds for Bam Adebayo. Walton trying to turn on the Jets.
Wow.
And with Adebayo closing in, went high off the glass.
Explosive. What a touch.
Monk has Van Leer on him now.
And look how much space when Fox had the ball that Phillips gives him.
It'll be a foul on Woods, who's claiming it should be on Adebayo for maybe hooking, but Woods is going to get tagged with his 4th foul at the 8:13 mark.
Walton, a driver, turns a corner, and this is a soft, difficult finish.
My goodness. So Woods has to come out, and Nico, who also has 4 fouls on him, comes into the game. Kim Anderson likes the effort from Woods on defense.
And think of this, Woods goes out, Nico comes in. But the number of bodies that Missouri has put in, even though they're in foul trouble, that Bam Adebayo has had to deal with. It's a physical toll on getting beaten down a little bit. Now this kid has been strong and powerful around the rim, but there's a missed free throw here. He looks tired just a bit.
Adebayo has played 26 minutes tonight. Monk has played 30. That body of Adebayo there to deter. And he drive. Phillips spun past him and missed the 2. Kept alive on the interior, and Gabriel trying to spin away from Nico. It is a traveling violation, and Missouri will have it on the other side in a 4-point game in Columbia. Do not go anywhere. It remains tight in Como. Feel like getting weird for 7:47? Come on back. Why? Traveling violation a moment ago called on Wenyen Gabriel in a very tight spot. It was called by Ted Valentine, giving the ball to Missouri. He was talking with Michael Roberts, who at one point, I believe, told Calipari to go back to the bench. Calipari stayed on top of Michael Roberts and gave him a technical foul. So free throws coming for Missouri here after the Calipari technical.
I can't say it was calculated, but he did stay with it, right?
He did stay with it.
Cal stayed with it.
We've seen coaches do this very often. Give me the technical foul. Maybe that gets my guys going. Maybe it gets some steam off of my shoulders. So Phillips goes to the line.
I'm going to go back to Adebayo in the last now 8 minutes left in this game. Every offensive possession for Missouri, they've put Adebayo in a pick and roll situation. So he's had to come help on Phillips turn the corner. Then they kick it back out again. They put him in another pick and roll situation. Lots of minutes in an up and down pace game.
2 big free throws for Phillips to make it a 2-point game. We go to Laura Rutledge.
Adam, after Coach Cal got the technical foul, he was surprisingly calm in his huddle, telling his guys, hey, this isn't that bad on the road in this type of environment. He said, we're seeing who we are right now. We have to continue to display toughness. He wants him to be tougher with the ball and tougher defensively.
Barnett ties the game at 52 with his first points of the second half, and De'Aaron Fox down to the deck and slow to get up.
Fox went down. Gabriel tried to block the shot and ran into his teammate.
It was Gabriel flying in off that inbound pass to try to deter the delivery from Jordan Barnett. And some contact with De'Aaron Fox, who was already limping earlier in this game and had to go to the bench momentarily. Well, you want to talk about the range of emotions in this arena? And there are a lot of Kentucky fans here, too.
Yes.
But this place was hopping after Barnett hit that shot. And Kentucky fans were very concerned, as were the Missouri fans. And Fox is back up and limping for the second time tonight that we've seen.
Watch Barnett turn the corner, and he will slide between two Kentucky defenders. Here comes Gabriel and runs right into teammates.
Oof.
Oh, when he went down, man. Oh. Watch the knee bend. Straight back.
Man, very tough to watch. It's a big body in Gabriel. 7:42 to go. Tie game. I don't know if the place has been hopping like this all season, but this might be fever pitch in Columbia, Missouri right now. Adebayo having the big boy game tonight for Kentucky. Will go to the line with a chance at a three-point play.
Mismatch inside. No double team, no attacking the big guy when he caught the ball. Patience, footwork, the turn of the left shoulder. Nico, no match. 5 personal fouls, and the patience again. Missouri did not attack once the ball went on the ground. A lot of pressure defensively to try to stop the big man.
And the freshman has fouled out. So that is a big body that you lose now. Russell Woods has to come in, and remember, Woods has 4 personal fouls as well. And Adebayo, who has been rock solid at the free throw line, 9 of 12, trying to make it a 3-point lead.
And does it change the next couple of defensive possessions when he catches? Does Missouri go quickly to try to get it out of his hands? He has dominated this second half.
He's got 20, as does Phillips, to lead all scorers. Walton on the drive, lost it off of his leg and out of bounds.
I think it was Gabriel with the active hands, knocked it off of Walton's leg.
And now Isaiah Briscoe, who has 4 personal fouls, getting a breather for about the last 5+ minutes. Will check in, but a timeout is called by Kim Anderson with 7:11 to play in a 3-point game in Missouri tonight.
Will Cinderella live for one more night?
This is it.
8 seconds to go. At the buzzer. Got it! He's got it! Oh my goodness!
These guys won't give up. March 1st, championship week. Cannot wait for this thing to get going. Of course, the top 4 teams in the SEC do get a double bye in the SEC tournament in Nashville. Florida and Kentucky, which have had at least a share, one of them have had at least a share of the last 7 SEC titles, are still jockeying at the top with a meeting in Lexington coming on Saturday for the top of the SEC.
And let's think about what Nashville is. Tell me the separation between Alabama, Tennessee, Arkansas, Ole Miss, Vandy. I mean, this is as equal a squad through the middle of this pack as we've ever seen. Teams that can get hot, can go on rolls. Auburn can put 100 points on people. Mississippi State's got talent.
Currently, there are 7 teams within 3 games of each other in the middle of the pack in the SEC. So a lot of seeding games, big seeding games for a lot of the middle of the pack teams will decide a lot in the next 2 weeks.
And which of those teams go on a run, win 3 or 4 down the stretch, win 3 games in Nashville, put themselves in a position for postseason play. And Walton's got to stay close to Monk.
Yep, that's the assignment right now.
There's the double team, first time we've seen it.
So Gabriel ends up taking the 3, and Briscoe runs down the rebound and flares it out to Adebayo.
Great hustle. The kid is relentless, Briscoe.
Walton still on Monk, who comes off the Gabriel screen, and they go right to Adebayo. That was an excellent second effort on that possession by Kentucky.
And a beautiful pass by Monk away from the defender from Missouri for the easy flush.
All right, let's see where Missouri goes now. Phillips has had the big night.
Barnett's got to be aggressive on the offensive end. He attracts attention.
Puryear on the good feed by Geist draws a Gabriel foul. There is De'Aaron Fox. We saw him have that big collision moments ago with Wenyen Gabriel. What have you heard, Laura Rutledge?
Well, the Kentucky athletic trainers tell me he has a knee contusion. No word whether or not he'll come back into this game, Adam.
Yeah, we see him at the scorer's table now and back up on his feet. So Looks like he is getting ready to check in, and he'll try to battle through it. That is a big free throw miss from Kevin Puryear. I don't think there's a more frustrated person on this floor than Kevin Puryear tonight.
Cannot get the ball in the basket. Not around the rim, not around the free throw line.
1 of 7 from 2, 0 of 3 from 3, and 0 of 3 at the free throw line, and he just let out a very frustrated scream. Approaching 6 to play. Kentucky continues to get everybody's best punch, especially on the road. And Missouri has tried to deliver as many haymakers as they can tonight. Kentucky has seemingly responded all night, and it's Gabriel for 3.
Well set. Gabriel was down low. He came out high. Fox knew where he was going to be.
Walton, no. Puryear, no. Briscoe with the rebound. Knocked away by Walton. Briscoe on the deck to knock it free. Run down by Walton. Puryear at the rim, and he'll go to the free throw line for 2 shots. What a wild sequence that was. And Monk ends up with his 3rd foul.
And the officials letting guys play. Walton Briscoe in a wrestling match right here. No whistle blown. Good hustle, and Puryear again cannot finish this play. Took the bump, had the open left hand to the rim. It's the toughest part about athletics. Can you clear your mind right now? Can Kevin Puryear clear what's happened tonight, step up to the free throw line and deliver?
To try to cut into Kentucky's largest lead of the game. I think there is an aura of disbelief around this frustrated young man right now.
Hey, you got this, big boy.
A 75% free throw shooter. Nearly 12 points a ball game.
There's a make for Puryear.
And as an athlete, all you tell yourself, you got to tell yourself, 5 minutes left, I just made my last one. Got to be aggressive.
Puryear will go to the bench. Woods does come in, so he's probably going to have Bam Adebayo here, I think.
Last couple times, Kentucky has chased shooters off of Adebayo, and they can pitch it back into it.
Monk, deadly from that area of the floor.
Beautiful to watch, elevates high on his jump shot.
First points of the second half for Malik Monk. Largest lead is now 9. This game was tied at 52. The 10-1 Kentucky run. Barnett. Aggressive to the rim for 2. Jordan Barnett with authority. That gets the Como crowd back up and roaring. Good defense that time by Phillips. And jump ball. He was right in the face of Fox to deter, and then wrapped him up.
How about this move? Powerfully strong, aggressive, attacking. And as you said, Adam, the crowd in this building right back in it. Phillips defensively gives Fox space, but you've got to be careful. If you give a guy that can dribble and penetrate so much, that kind of space, Fox can attack you at different angles.
He's got Geist on him now. A good screen and the blow-by and a foul called, sending De'Aaron Fox to the line, and that is the end, I believe, of Russell Woods' night, yes, with 5 fouls.
Fox is simply the road runner, right? I mean, it is like beep, beep, and then it's gone. He turns it up, turns it on, no matter where you play, how far off. And because of how his body is built, the angles he can turn on and attack you, so hard to get in front of him.
We talked about Kentucky's collective speed. De'Aaron Fox has the highest range of individual speed on this team, and that is not only running the entire floor, but in small spaces as well. His quickness with the basketball. Wonder if substitutions did not go all the way through at the scorer's table, perhaps. Hawkins is being sent back to the scorer's table to make sure that he checks in at the right time. So he'll come in likely after this first Fox free throw. It was Purrier who checked in for Woods, who was fouled out.
.73% free throw shooter, but at Georgia past Saturday, 8 of 10 from the foul line.
And a lot of those, as a matter of fact, all the makes came in the final 4.5 minutes.
Yep.
And a good chunk of those came in the final minute of the game as well. Fox was clutch down the stretch in Athens. 8-point game, 4.5 to play.
Kentucky's got to stay solid. Watch all the picks that Purrier will set because Adebayo's guarding him. They want Adebayo to have to double team and guard.
Phillips into Adebayo and to the free throw line. It's just the first on Bam.
Phillips smart enough to put the ball fake in there, Adam. I was surprised Bam went for it. Stay on the ground, wait till a guard goes up before you want to make the block.
He has tied his career high with 21 tonight. A perfect shooting night at the free throw stripe, plus 3 assists and 3 rebounds. New career high is 22 for Terrence Phillips, and the deficit is 6.
Fox, Monk, Adebayo.
They all touch it. Adebayo in the double team, muscling it up. Bam Adebayo lost it. Picked up by Hawkins and flared out. Monk, big 3. Big rebound by Jordan Barnett inside of 4 to play.
Phillips has confidence.
Oh, and he tried to throw it to Walton, but threw it to Hawkins.
I think Monk knocked it away. I think Monk got his hands and knocked it out of Phillips' hand.
Hawkins going into some of the Missouri students. 3:45 to play. A 6-point game. Kentucky's largest lead has been 9 tonight. Missouri's largest lead has been 4. The punches have been thrown and traded and dealt all night long in Columbia, Missouri. Stay tuned. Fun 3:45 to go. Adebayo to give them to him.
Well, what a second half. He's got 17 points and 8 rebounds just in the second half. 22 points, 13 rebounds on the game, 4 offensive rebounds. He has attacked, and let's think back what Coach Cal said in the middle of that first half. We're going to pound it inside, be patient, attack, see if Missouri can guard their big guy. They've not been able to challenge him.
Tying his career high in rebounds, his career high in points is 25, so statistically his best SEC game by far. On a night where Kentucky has gone on the road into what turned into a pretty hostile environment at various points tonight. There's always a lot of blue shirts anywhere you go in the SEC for a Kentucky road game, but this has been a tough crowd to deal with tonight as Hawkins, the veteran, hits the first of 2.
88% free throw shooting.
Barnett with the rebound. He's got 7 of those to go along with 13 points tonight. 7-point game. Phillips has a new career high.
You think of Phillips, you think of Barnett.
It's Monk guarding Barnett.
And Monk, very active, has not allowed Barnett to touch.
Shot clock inside of 10 for Phillips. Ball loose on the ground. Phillips with 4. Phillips for 3, and that might have been partially blocked. Excellent defense that entire possession by the Wildcats.
And Malik Monk stayed in front and to the side no matter what it was and what angle that Barnett could not get the ball on a good look. Solid defense by Monk. Fox aggressive against Phillips. Nothing on the offensive end.
3 minutes to play.
And what's the formula? Fox, Monk, Adebayo. Yep.
Into the post for Bam. And a traveling violation as multiple bodies started to come over to him.
Adebayo, all he had to do on that time is just be consistently, just take your time. Be patient. The double team was coming. They had Briscoe on a wide open cut. They had Willis on a swing pass.
Phillips has Fox on him. Going to Puryear against the smaller Briscoe. And Kevin Puryear, who has gone 1 for 11 from the floor, 1 for 5 at the free throw line, has 2 huge shots coming late. And that is 5 fouls on Isaiah Briscoe. Nine points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists for Briscoe tonight.
And the look on Coach Cal's face isn't so much to Briscoe right here, but he's looking at Bam Adebayo and said, where did you go?
You see him out near the foul line, out on a guard, perhaps.
Puryear, the bigger body, backing down the guard. If Adebayo goes and helps, Puryear's probably going to kick it out. That allows Briscoe to stay on the floor.
This will be one night to forget, you would think, for Kevin Puryear. Just been so frustrating. It's hard to watch sometimes. I'm sure fans feel the same way. Their hearts are probably breaking for this young man.
So hard mentally to block it out. But you must if you're on the court.
It is a 6-point game, 2-possession game with 2.5 to go. Walton on Monk. Geist on Fox. And now a switch. It's Phillips on Monk. Adebayo screen. The Roadrunner gets to the rim again.
Beep, beep.
Yep.
Gone.
So fast.
Fun to watch. When a defense lets up just a little bit, Fox attacks.
Adebayo's out on the perimeter. Guarding Phillips here.
Boy, good help defense.
Tough step back Geist way off target, and Adebayo snares his 14th rebound, a career high. Fox for Willis. Might be a dagger.
How about the defense on one end by Willis to help out, then challenge a shooter, runs the floor, gets a lob from Fox. Kentucky basketball.
And their first double-digit lead of the night with 1:40 to go.
De'Aaron Fox has been beaten up a little bit tonight. Been out, but there's the speed, the quickness of a defense lets up. And then instead of pulling the ball back out and running time, if you've got 2-on-1, take advantage, easy pass, easy finish.
Those last 2 possessions, the best of Kentucky owns.
Yeah. Well, think of Phillips, who had Adebayo on him. He was going to turn the corner. Shut off by one angle. Willis helps shut it off. He makes the pass. Willis gets back to the offensive player, challenges his shot, and then they can run. And that's what Wildcat basketball is about.
Yeah, when I say the best, those 2 possessions, I mean that's Kentucky at its best.
Yeah.
I mean that's where they are very good, when they can defend for long stretches of time in a possession and then run the floor. That's dangerous Kentucky.
Missouri having a hard time in their half-court sets to find open shots against this Kentucky team.
Phillips made it tough, did Fox.
Yeah, a good challenge. Fox is quick, he's long. They list Phillips at 5'11", De'Aaron Fox at 6'3". How quickly he got to the shot with that.
Big Blue Nation starting to breathe some sighs of relief now.
We're late in February. Now you want to see how does Kentucky run offense? What kind of shots can they get down the stretches of games, which becomes vitally important.
Geist into Willis, and a foul called on the 6'9" senior. Jordan Geist will go to the free throw line. Remember, this game was tied at 52 at the 7:45 mark. It is a 16-6 run over a near full 7 minutes. And a big part of that run has been Bam Adebayo. He's our player of the game, brought to you by Zaxby's. Career high in rebounds, his first career SEC double-double. 2 big free throws for Geist to cut it down to an 8-point game with 57 seconds remaining.
And give Kentucky credit. Not only the coaching staff that said we're going to go inside and pound it, but the patience of Adebayo and the control that he had inside against a Missouri team that's not as big and not as physical. And one body after another tried to challenge a big man inside. A lot of fouls, a lot of problems for the Missouri team.
At Mizzou Arena tonight, Adam Amin, John Sunville, Laura Rutledge with us as well. So let's go all the way back to the beginning of the night. What did John Calipari tell us and Laura Rutledge? What did she report on today? Kentucky gets everybody's best shot consistently, especially on the road. And the last now 7 road games have been difficult for Kentucky, but that's what you expect when you're Coach Calipari and when you're this program.
And that's what they expect. And we knew the second half they'd come out. Missouri hung with them as long as they could. But it's the plays that this Wildcat team has made down the stretch.
Right.
Fox has been good. Adebayo has been good. They've made the plays offensively. Defensively, they've been solid. They have not given Missouri easy looks. And the looks that Missouri's had, Puryear's had a tough night, has not made some of the openings.
Saturday, I'll be in Lexington on ESPN Radio. Big game that'll likely be for the top spot in the SEC, assuming this score holds. Next Tuesday, Vanderbilt will go to Lexington, then Texas A&M, and then the SEC tournament. It was a pretty front-loaded schedule for Kentucky. Florida is their toughest game down the final stretch of the season, and they're going to be battling for the #1 seed.
And under Coach Cal, trying to win their 5th SEC regular championship.
Press break here from Kentucky. Hawkins able to recover it.
Think of the guys they have, Monk, Fox, Hawkins, all solid with the ball, all solid free throw shooters.
And there's a foul on a 73% free throw shooter with 42.8 to play. Barring a Missouri comeback, this would be the 18th consecutive loss to a ranked team for Missouri, and I would imagine among those 18, this was one of the biggest punches that Missouri delivered to any of those 18. This was a very, very tough, impressive effort by the Missouri Tigers.
Well, remember what we said about the 7-minute mark. One of the weaknesses this Missouri team has had, they'll go on a stretch, 5 or 6 possessions when they don't get a bucket. It happened in the last 5 minutes of this game.
Back to a 10-point game. Geist able to pick up 2. 33 seconds to go. And some full court pressure applied here by Missouri. And it will be a foul called here against the Tigers.
I think they got Geist holding Monk.
Indeed they did.
Malik Monk, 83% free throw shooter. Again, what a season he has had. It is freshman year, 21 points a ball game. I mean, how many freshmen come in? You get 47 against North Carolina.
Incredible.
Conference play, 34 at Ole Miss. He had 37 against Georgia.
And by the way, that was Malik Monk's 10th point, so he keeps his streak alive. He has been in double figures every single game this year, the leading scorer in the SEC. And to his credit, I'll even say this for him. He passed up some shots to get it to Bam Adebayo in the post.
A very patient night for him.
Geist, tough reverse, deterred by Adebayo. Part of a very good night at both ends of the floor with a 6'10", 260-pounder. And I love to see this. Missouri fans to their feet to cheer on their team, and Kentucky fans that have made the trip to their feet, as they so often do on the road, to cheer on this team. Some idiot ran on the floor. Hopefully that doesn't ruin the rest of this night for anybody. All of that being said, it ends up with a 10-point Kentucky win on the road. It was tied at 52 with 7:45 remaining. Kentucky outscores Missouri 20-10 over that final stretch.
Solid effort, obviously, by Missouri on their home court, but Kentucky down the stretch made the plays. Their big guys made the plays. Big in the fact that it was Fox, it was Monk, it was Adebayo inside that Missouri couldn't handle.
Kentucky now 10-0 against Missouri all-time, 3-0 at Mizzou Arena. Bam Adebayo with his impressive double-double performance. Phillips had a career-high 22 tonight in the losing effort for Missouri as well. And And it is a tie atop the standings in the SEC. Florida and Kentucky will meet in Lexington at 13-2 with the top spot in the conference on the line. Potential seeding for the NCAA tournament as well. Up for grabs on Saturday. John Calipari comes away with the win. He is with Laura Rutledge.
All right, thank you. And Coach, you talk a lot about finding out what this team's made of. How does a game like tonight show you a little more about that?
Well, I like our fight. We went into Bam, he got some stuff done. De'Aaron Fox at the end, we made some free throws, but we're a long way away. And it's just, we got to have a team full of guys playing confident. We're telling them to shoot and play, and we're not confident enough yet, and we should be. I don't get it, but I'm proud of these guys. Hard to win on the road. Hard to win on the road.
Thank you, Coach. Now, Bam, how would you describe what Coach was saying to you throughout this game to allow you to have that patience and control you had inside?
He was just telling me, keep fighting, fight for post position, just keep playing with energy, and they kept giving me the ball.
You guys talk about it. Everybody seems to give Kentucky their best shot. What was tonight like for you guys out there?
They came out hot. We just had to fight back, and we fought back and came up with a win.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Laura, thanks very much. John, we saw it. Biggest punch delivered by Missouri tonight, and Kentucky withstood it.
Well, again, good effort by Missouri, but Kentucky did what they have to do in conference play on the road. It's always tough to win, but they handled it down the stretch. They made the plays. Another good win for Kentucky as they stay tied atop this league.
I'll be in Lexington Saturday for ESPN Radio. Florida, Kentucky for the top spot in the SEC. For John Sunvolt, Laura Rutledge, the outstanding women and men of our crew, Adam Amin saying so long from Mizzou Arena. Kentucky comes away with a win on the road. Off to SEC Now.